Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Thanks again for your time to attend our second webinar. Okay, so thanks again for your time. So this is the second webinar that we are organizing this round, and for this round, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share about how we are going to use the Landlord123. So because I assume that everyone is very new to this, so this is the first session on how to get started to use Landlord123. Okay, so for this topic, this is just a very quick session. We can do it within 15 to 30 minutes. We will start with signing up of an account, creating a new property, assigning a tenant, and also how we are going to do a property inspection through the app. Okay, so now let me share this my mobile screen. Okay, so this is my screen. So to get started, let me start with this screen here. All right, so once you install the app, this is the first screen that you will see. So to start the registration, there's two ways you can do that. First, you can use your own email to create the account. Secondly, you can also use the Facebook. So it depends on what is your favorite method to log into the app. So for this demo, I'm going to start with creating the account using my email. So we click on this create account. Right, then it will bring me to business screen. So this is where I'll need to provide my details, right? Okay, the email address. So for the email, we make sure that we are using a valid email, because once the email is created, once your account is created, we actually will send the detail to verify your account through this email that you use. So make sure you use a valid email address. Right, then we have the phone number here. So for the phone number also, make sure you put in a real number here, because whenever you are communicating with your tenant, this is where the tenant will be able to click on one of the button and make a call to you. Okay, but for this example here, let me just put in my number like this. Right, then the password, I'll just put something simple here, but for yourself, make sure you put something is not easily guessed by other user. Right, for location, by default, it will remember you based on the country that you're currently in. Right, so here it will show in Malaysia. Sign up. Right, so once my account is created now, if I go into the page, it will tell me I need to validate my account on the email. So what I do is, just now I registered with my email, I should get an email now. So this is the email address. Right, so this is the email that I received, and this is the code 4022. So I just need to go back to the app and I can key in the number here. But if let's say you go into your mailbox, you don't see the email, you just check on the spam folder or the junk folder, the junk mail, to make sure that you receive the email. And the email, this is how it looks like, that I will show just now. Okay, so you'll be coming from Landlord123 with the reference number, with the activation number. Okay, so let me key in the number here, 4022. Okay, so now I'm logged in already. Right, so you see now on the top here, it shows me as a tenant. If you're a landlord, actually you can change the view. You just click on this hamburger menu on the top left here. Then you can see who are you logging in as. So I want to change it to as landlord, because now I'm logging in and I'm using as a landlord. Right, so let me just go through with you the menu, the pages that we have here, what we have in the dashboard. So first we have pending my action. So pending my action actually shows you any actions or any items that you need to perform or you need to action on the app. So especially when we are talking about the issue module, which I will share next week. So any issue that is created, it actually shows you in this pending my action. So whenever something that the tenant created that needs your attention, you can click, you will see something that's pending for your action here. So you just click on this and then it will show you what are the items for which property. Next, we have the open issue. This one is just basically shows you what are the issues that is still not yet closed. So this also relate to the issue module, where if a tenant created some issues on the property, like leakage on the roof leakage, or maybe some issue on the wall. So as long as the case is not closed, it will be shown on the open issue button here. Overdue issue is for those issue where it's already overdue, because whenever an issue is created, there will be a SLA, they call it the timeline where you should complete and close the case. So if let's say this particular issue that has been created is supposed to be closed in 3 days, but you have not completed it and no action is taken, so it will actually show here what are the issues that are already overdue. So what is good about this overdue issue tab is you can keep track, especially if you have more than one property, you will have a lot of issues that is being created that you might not be able to keep track if let's say you're not using apps like this. So with the app like Landlord123, you'll be able to see any case that is created that is still open, and out of the cases that has been created, how many is overdue, so you can action on that. And the last tab here we have is the rental collection. This one is to show you any property that the rental collection is due. So at every beginning of the month, the system actually trigger and add in rental that you should be collecting from your property. So you'll be able to see how many rent that is not being collected yet. So it will be all shown in the rental collection tab here. Okay. The next tab we have is the My Property, right? So this one is something where any landlord can come in and create the property that they want to manage from the Landlord123 app. So for the free version, you can create one property, and if you have more than one property to manage, then you can subscribe to our package. So later on in the slide, I will show you what are the package that we have for subscription. And I'm going to show you on the step after this. And finally, we have the financial tab. This financial tab also is something that only available for the subscribed user, which is using the professional package, where for financial, what you can do is you can actually manage all the expenses that you have used for your property. So any property that you are managing through the Landlord123 app, you will be able to see what is the expenses that has occurred for that property for the issue that you have been fixing, or if let's say there's any water bill, electricity bill, all can be recorded here. And at the end of the month or at the end of the year, if you want to generate a report to see for this property how much you already spent, you can actually do that in the financial tab. So we will share more detail about how we can utilize the financial page in our third session. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we are going back into my property here. I want to start with creating a new property. Okay, so first you see at the bottom right, we have the plus button there. So you just click on that. It will bring you to this page. Okay, so this is where you'll be creating a property. So first we want to choose a photo that we want to use to say this is a property. Okay, I just click on the camera icon there, and I can choose from my images here. I go to my camera because for this one, we can choose back from our own photo. Okay, let's say I want to change to this photo. Okay, so this is the property. So here I will put in the name of the property. Metropolitan Square. This I can. For the description, you can put in something that you can remember for yourself. I can say this is unit 12-1. 1 for rent. This is more like for your own detail, yeah. Okay. Photo frequency is this is the part which is quite important, because photo frequency, if you click on it, we have 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, 3 and 6 months, right? This is the one where you want to set the system or the app to remind your tenant when they should take a photo for the property inspection. Okay, because for property inspection, what this app can help you to do is, when you set this reminder, when you set this reminder, you can tell the system to inform the tenant that, okay, the time it's already time for the tenant to snap photo to help to do the property inspection. So let's say I just choose the 6 months here first. So what happens here is, from the first day that the property is being rented, and then 6 months later, the app will actually remind the tenant that, okay, it's time, you need to send some photo update to the landlord. Okay, so I will show you this one in the next stage. Tenancy start date. This one is more for your reference, because this one is very important, because when it comes to the rental collection, this is where you will be able to see when is the next collection date that you need to follow up with your tenant. Okay. Then the duration. Here, this is the duration, how long you're renting this property. So let's say when you discuss with the tenant, this property, they are going to rent it for 1 year, or is annually renewed, then you just choose 1 year, or otherwise you can choose 2 years. So let me just choose 1 year here. Okay, tenant. So this is the tenant detail. So let me just put the tenant name here, Lee, right? I can put a description here, how this tenant come in, or I just want to put in some description for myself, for my own reference. Tenant renting for work from home, right? Okay, so this description. Okay, the tenant email. This one I will say is very important, because when it comes to the tenant email, this is the part where how we are going to link your property to the relevant tenant. Because after this, I'm going to show you how we are going to link the tenant to your property. So that's why whenever we put in the tenant email, right, you have to first agree with the tenant that, okay, we are going to use an app to manage this property. So the tenant will have to provide you an email address, a valid email address, so that whenever you create this property, you can provide this email, and this email will actually send to them to link it. So I'm going to show you after this how this actually works. Okay, then we have the tenant phone number. Let me put this number, let's say 016-211-2113. Okay, and the amount, how much is this property being rented. So let's say I put in 2,500. Okay, that's it. So I click on the create button. So now it's creating the property already. And after this, you see this screen, it says property has been added, proceed to add area of fitting. This portion is very important, because when we come to this, let me go to this screen first. This is where you will specify which are the area that you want to keep track in for the property. Like let's say for this house, I want to keep track of I want to get inspection, or I want to get photo update at the kitchen. Okay, so I say kitchen, that is one. Another one, let's say I say the bathroom. Okay, or the next one I want to put is the room area. So you can create up to 8 different area of fitting. Or sometimes if let's say when you rent this property out, right, you also provide the kitchen cabinet. So you can also say, I want to also see photo of the kitchen cabinet. Okay, so it depends on how you want, or which area that you want. So because I put the kitchen cabinet here, let me just say I don't want the kitchen already. Okay, so this is the 3 area I want to keep track. So once we provided all this, when we confirm, you click on the tick on the top right. You see the tick button there? So I just click on this. Okay, so now the property has been updated. Okay, now if I go back to my dashboard, when I click on the my property, you can see the property that I created just now is now listed in this dashboard already in the my property. So you see it will also show who is the tenant, when is the tenancy date started. And here you see it also mentioned what is the next action you need to do. You need to upload the first set of photos. Okay. Oh, sorry. All right. Okay, now let me just explain a bit about the menu here. You have the issue list, you have the collection, then rental collection, you have the upload photo, and then we have more. If we click on more, you see we have even more options or more action that you can do, right? Let me start with the issue list first. So for issue list, this is the part where if you have a lot of property, you will find this one very useful, because if I go inside this menu, it will show you any issue that has been created for that property. Right, so you see here it shows now issue list 0. So if you have this property rented to the tenant, and the tenant they created some problem, like there's a leakage on the bathroom, or the roof, there's a problem there. So whenever they created that, then you can see that, okay, these are the issues that is linked to this property. Okay, then you see it's very you can see all these issues created even more clearer. So if you have 2 property, it's even clearer, because now here we only have 1 property. So if you manage more than 1, you will see how useful this part is. Next, we have the rental collection. So when I go into the rental collection, this is the part where you can see what are when is the rent that you need to collect. So for this case, because the tenancy date just now I said it starts in 1st of July, so I'm expecting to update the rental for the month of July. So I will go through in detail for all this rental part in the next session as well. Okay, upload photo is the one where we need to do whenever the property is first created. Okay, so let me just choose this one, upload photo. Right, now you see the area or the fitting that I mentioned just now that I created. Because when I first created this property, I mentioned that I want to get a photo from the bathroom, the kitchen cabinet, and also the room area. So this is all the parts, the areas that you want the tenant to update you. Okay, and what is very important about this is, because when we are talking about property inspection, we want to make sure that the tenant is actually showing you or snapping the photo of the property there and then. They are not actually uploading a photo that they take 6 months ago, because there's this scenario where if we don't control it that way, right, what happens if the tenant, they move in today, the property is still very new. So the tenants start snapping all the photo of the property, and then they keep it for the next round. So when if let's say you don't go to the property to do the inspection, if you just use WhatsApp or other messaging tool, they can just send you a photo of that area 6 months later, which they actually take 6 months earlier. So you see the importance of having something to control where the tenant is actually snapping the photo. So for this case, if let's say I click on this camera icon, right, it actually open up the camera. Okay, so let's say for this case, now I'm in the meeting room. So I can just snap from here. So when I choose, like just now I choose the bathroom, then I can only snap photo from there. I cannot choose from a gallery. Okay, so when I confirm, I just click yes. So the bathroom is already taken 1 photo. Now let's say I want to snap for the kitchen. I just click on this camera here. Then you open up the camera again. So I have to snap from the camera. Okay, then I click on the tick on the top. If you click on the X, you actually cancel this photo. Okay, right. Then the room area, let's say I choose this one again. Right. Then I just tick yes. Okay. So now this is we can say that this is the condition of the property when it is rented to the tenant. So make sure that the tenant or even yourself is there to do the first uploading of the photo at the property. So once you're done, you confirm the photo is all okay, you can tap on the tick on the top right. And by the way, for the photo, for each area, you can snap 2 photos. So if you want to have more detail, like let's say the bathroom, I want to take another one, I can just click on the camera again, it open up, then I can snap another one. And I take. So now for the bathroom, I got 2 photos. Okay, so I click on the yes, the tick here. I choose upload now. Upload later is if let's say you want to save your phone bandwidth, you want to because now you're at the property, there's no Wi-Fi internet, it's just using your own broadband, so you can actually choose upload later. But if you choose upload now, it will immediately do the uploading. All right, so we are done with the photo uploading. Okay, so now if I go back to this screen, you see just now it was showing uploading photo. Now it will show photo update, because when now I click on this, it actually show me the photo that I snapped, right? So if I click view photo, I can actually see back all the photo that I uploaded just now when I first do the inspection, right? So from the detail that from when I was creating the property earlier, I mentioned that the photo frequency is 6 months, right? So that means 6 months from today, the tenant will receive an email, receive a notification from the app to tell them that, okay, the time is now, you need to update your landlord on the photo for this area. So they will also click on the upload photo. It will be similar like how the previous screen, where it will also show them this 3 area, but they won't have any photo here, so they have to step a new photo. So as a landlord, you can actually view how is the condition of your property at the time. Okay, right. Then now let me just go through all the menu here. Okay, so now I'm still as a landlord, right? I can view the property detail. When I click on the view property detail, I can just, this is all the information that I've created earlier when I create this property. So this is more for me to make any changes on the property if required, or I want to see what is the detail about this property, right? If I go to edit area and fitting, this one is more for me to create additional area of fitting if I want to get new updates for the next round. Okay. Send tenant activation code. Okay, so this is the next step that I want to do now. Because just now you see, when I created this property, I already specify who is the tenant, correct? So if I scroll down here, you see, so my tenant is Lee at this email. And if I go to the bottom here, I can see this is the tenant detail, right? So now I want to have the tenant to add this property to the landlord app also. So for the tenant, it's also very important for them to install this app, because that is where you will be able to communicate with the tenant through the Landlord123 app. Okay, so now let me go to the more, and I choose send tenant activation email. Okay, so just here we just confirm, are you sure you want to send email to this email address? So you say yes, send email. Okay, so now what happened is there's an activation code that will be sent to the tenant for them to add the property to their Landlord123 app on their site. So now let me log in as the tenant. So I log out from this app first. Okay, so I log out already. Now I have an account as a tenant in my, which is I previously used, which is using the Facebook login. So I just click on the Facebook login here. Okay, so now I'm logging in as this Yahoo, this particular email, but as a tenant. Okay, so as a tenant, you see now I don't have anything. I don't have any property, it's empty, correct? Okay, so because just now the landlord already sent the activation code, as a tenant, you will get the email. So let me go to my email. I think I received the email already. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, so this is the email that is sent from the landlord to the tenant. So now, if I key in this code 5329, it will actually add me as the tenant to just now that particular property. And if let's say the tenant, they have not installed the property yet, they can actually download, they haven't installed the Landlord123 app, they can actually click on the button here to download them. Okay, so since now I already have an account, I just need to key in this code 5329. So as a tenant here, I click on this plus sign at the bottom. I key in the code 5329. Okay, property has been added. So this is the menu, or this is the page as a tenant. Okay, so now if you go back to the main page here, so this is the view for the tenant, the dashboard, and I go to my property. This is the view for the tenant in my property, and you can see the tenant also can see who is the landlord of this property and when is the tenancy date. They can submit issue, which I'm going to share in the next round, next week. They can view the issue list, the issues that has been created. They can view the rental that is pending for them. Okay, if let's say now I click on this rental payment, right, I can actually see this is the unpaid rent from me as a tenant to the landlord. So I know that, okay, I have the rent that is unpaid. Okay, and view photo. This is the one where when I click here, I can actually also see the photo of the property, right? So on the 6 months from 1st of July, me now as a tenant here, I'll also get the notification and I'll have to snap photo like how I did just now so that the landlord will get an update. Okay, so basically these are the steps that that I want to show today to get started as a landlord and how you actually link the tenant to the property and how they actually perform the property inspection. All right, so let me go back to the slide. Okay, so just now earlier I mentioned about the features that is available for the landlord and also the tenant, but especially as a landlord, if you're a property agent that is managing multiple property for your client, this is also one of the app that is very suitable for you, because imagine if you have so many properties that you're managing for so many clients, without a property app to help you to manage, you will find it a bit hard, or you have a lot of steps to do the property management. So that is why this is something that this is one of the app that you should consider to subscribe to. Okay, for the free usage, when you first sign up for the property, for the account, you are able to use our basic module where you can perform the basic property inspection. You can have issue management. Okay, you can also manage the rental collection, but it's only limited to one property. And if you subscribe to our starter package, you will this one is a 1 year package, but we are charging for 11 months. So you're only paying $99 for 12 months. Okay, so you will get 1 month free. So that's why it's a 12 months. And for the starter package, you will get all this, and in fact, the good is you can have 3 properties and you do not have any ads on the app. And if you are managing a lot of property, I would advise you to go for the professional, because for the professional package, you can get everything that is included in the app, especially the one which is very useful is the expenses tracking and also the financial reporting. Okay, and you can perform unlimited property management from the app. Right. So if you are a business, if you are a property agency that is attending this session right now, we have a package where if you're a business, we can customize the app to your look and feel. So just now when you look at the app, you can see the Landlord123 logo with our green color theme, right? So if you're a business and you want to be able to make this app feels like it's yours, so you can talk to us, then we can discuss in detail on what is the pricing, on how we can help you to do that. And as a business, actually, this one will be very helpful for you, because if you are a property agency where your agents is helping to manage a lot of clients, right? The client will feel like they will feel more secure, because they will see that your agents or your agency are using a proper app to help them to manage the property. So this one is something that we can talk further about. Okay, so that's all the sharing session for today. This is my contact detail. So if there's any more detail that you require from us, you can contact me. This is my office number, or you can email to me. And you please check out our website, Twitter, Facebook, and also our LinkedIn page for more updates, because every time when there's any update or anything that we want to share, we will share in all this channel. Okay, so see you in our next session. So our next session will be on next Friday. And for next week, I'm going to share about the rental collection module, and the issue module, where how we want to show you how your tenant can actually use the issue module to raise any concerns or any problem on the property to you, and how we're going to go through that process to manage the property. Okay, all right, thanks.